Okay. So we're talking about the vaccine here. Let's do a YouTube's. All right. So why is this called the coronavirus? The coronavirus. The technical name for it is called SARS-2. The version of it is the 19th iteration of it. The version of it is 19th. There's 18 others that don't actually infect you or do much, but there's a 19th. And for some reason, the 19th version of an earlier disease called SARS. So why is it called the coronavirus? Anybody know? Well, I'm going to draw you guys basically an oversimplified picture of a third grader or a kindergartner drawing the sun. Well, how do kindergartners draw the sun? They draw it like this, right? Star-kissed sunshine. That's how a kindergartner would draw the sun, right? Well, in point of fact, that's actually kind of how the virus is shaped. It is shaped kind of like a little sun, and it has these spikes on the outside of it. And these spikes give it its distinctive feature, kind of like the corona, the outer atmosphere of the sun. The outer atmosphere of the sun is called the corona. It looks like all these solar flares are coming off of it, so it is called the coronavirus. So it has spikes. And inside of it, inside, buried deep within it, is something called RNA, ribonucleic acid. Did you learn about that in biology? Now, as you know, RNA is basically one half of a DNA. DNA is more sophisticated, right? Well, where do you find DNA? Inside of what? Inside of you, right? Inside of your what's? Your cells. Okay? So let's draw a cell. Big giant cell. And in that cell, you have a nucleus. And what's located in the nucleus? Class, what's located in the nucleus? Yes, DNA. Well, DNA is more complicated. Okay? It's more complicated. It's twice the RNA. DNA is basically like the operating system of the cell. It's the iOS of the cell, iOS, right? Well, how does your phone know what to do? How do all the apps work? How does it make calls and text and chat and group chat and Twitter and tweet and stream and comment? The answer is the operating system. So the DNA is the operating system of the cell. And the cell also has other parts too. Did you learn about that? Did you learn about ribosomes? Yeah. Did you learn about mitochondrias? Yeah. Did you learn about Golgi bodies and endoplasmic reticulums? You did? You did. Okay. Well, and you also learned about a plasma what? Membrane. Plasma membrane is part of the cell. Well, how do all these parts know what to do? Who tells them what to do? The who? The nucleus. Well, how does the DNA tell the parts what to do? Does it send them an email? Does it talk to them? Does it use hand signals? No, it does not. The DNA tells the parts of the cell what to do using something called messenger RNA. So it sends out from the nucleus this message in the form of an RNA strand. That RNA strand goes to the parts of the cell and tells them what to do. That messenger RNA grabs a hold of something else called another DNA strand called transfer RNA, and it actually builds and repairs all the parts to your cell. Okay? Because the DNA tells it how. All right. Now, if you don't have any messenger RNA, no instructions get to the parts of your cell and they begin to break down. Well, one of the parts of your cell that's very critical is the membrane. Not everything can get into the cell. Water can, salt can, but viruses are way bigger than salt. Viruses are way bigger than water. So viruses and things don't usually get let into the cell, okay? Because the cell has these holes, it has these little doors called active sites, and it's a little door. But what would happen if you had a pick for the lock? Well, the coronavirus actually has a little pick. It's the spikes, and it picks the lock to the cell. That's what the spikes do. The corona spikes pick the lock to the active sites of the cell, and they walk in the door. And then what happens, Elena, is this messenger RNA enters the cell. Now it's inside. Well, now what it does is instead of the messenger RNA going to tell your cell what to do, the virus steals your messenger RNA. And after it steals your messenger RNA, it then uses the transfer RNA to remake itself. And it actually, and again, this is oversimplified, but it steals the messenger RNA to your Golgi bodies. And it uses the transfer RNA from your Golgi bodies to make more of itself and give itself another round of spikes. Okay, and if it does this a bunch of times, what's going to start to happen to your cell, kids? What's going to start to happen? Your cell is not getting instructions on what to do. So you know what it begins to do? Break down. Your cell begins to malfunction because the virus stole all the messages. And you know what it does? Exits the cell. Pop. Exits the cell. Off it goes to make more of itself. Okay? So it steals your messenger RNA, it uses the transfer RNA found on the Golgi bodies to make more of itself, and off it goes to do the same thing quadrillions of times. What's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to you? Oh, you're going to get sick and die. That's what's going to happen to you. It's going to destroy your cells. You're going to get sick and die. How do you stop this from happening? What are we talking about from the news? A what? Yes, a vaccine. So you stop this from happening by develop a vaccine. All right, so what is a vaccine really? Again, oversimplified, what is a vaccine really? Guys, a vaccine is just the virus. Yeah, they shoot you with pieces of the virus, and then your body becomes immune. Except there's one problem with this, guys. You know what the problem is? This takes years. It takes years to develop. Years. Do we have years to wait around for this thing, this pandemic? What's going to happen if we wait around years? What's going to happen, Elena? I don't know if everybody's going to die. But are you going to get more letters that saying more students have COVIDs? Yes. Okay. We have to go back to being virtual? Yes. So how do you fix this? You speed up the process. You develop another vaccine, except here's what's going on, folks. This vaccine, developed by Pfizer with another company called BioNTech, and also a bunch of other companies. One of them is Moderna, and there's a bunch of other ones. They're working on this new version of a vaccine instead of the old way of doing the vaccine. They're doing it a new way. What if instead of just shooting you with the virus, they just shoot you with a part of the virus? They make a vaccine with just the little spikes in it. Okay? And the thing that's so amazing about these companies is they genetically engineered the little spikes. I don't know how they do it. Nobody really knows yet. Hopefully one day we will, doubt it, but top secret stuff. They engineered the spikes. So now If they shoot you with the spikes, what are you going to become immune to? The messenger RNA or the spikes? What are you going to become immune to, Elena? The spikes. So your body will develop blockers for the spikes. Okay? Little antigens. They're called antibodies. Maybe you remember that from biology. But what will happen is they will block the spikes and it will shut the door on the coronavirus. So the new vaccine is actually a viral blocker. It's not, you're not going to be immune to the RNA part. So if you ever get that, you could still get it. But it is going to block the virus. And the reason why this is amazing, guys, is because this is really different from the way human beings have always done it. It used to be in the 20th century, it took years shooting people with the virus. But now we're genetically engineering parts of the virus, and that allows you to block it. So what that means, guys, is when you guys get this vaccine, you won't be able to pass it from person to person. I'm supposed to get it, guys. I'm supposed to get it before you guys do. But you'll be soon after it. Now, what's the best part about this, Elena? How much does this cost? How much is this going to cost to get this? Billions? Try this. $0.00. It's free. Okay. Yes, to make it, it costs billions and billions. Okay. And obviously, we're going to pay with tax money for this. But you know how much it's going to cost you in cash, Elena? $0.00. Okay. So this is the first time in human history that we've rolled out a vaccine so fast because of what? Genetic engineering. It's a new way to change the world. This is massively world changing. Massively world changing. Okay? I mean, think about all the possibilities, guys. I mean, could you imagine if you could genetically engineer the flu, parts of the flu, or HIV, or all these other viruses? Wow. Oh, yeah. You could save millions. All right. So that was a review of biology. It is more important that you know what's going on, that you be educated about this stuff, about what is going on. I will publish it on the YouTubes. Okay? Now, again, disclaimer, that's the most oversimplified explanation. I probably left out a lot of things. That's probably not totally correct, but for a high school teacher, that's about all I got.